Hello and welcome. Hello, welcome there. Oh, there's a delay. There's the Zoom. Okay, I guess I have to turn the sound down on here. Hello and welcome. Hello, welcome there. Oh, there's a delay. There's the Zoom. Okay, let's see. All right, I guess it's working, sort of. Let me go over and put a link over in Facebook page and see if we can get someone to come in here. All right, I hope you're all doing well. And we're up in the cold tundra up here in Wisconsin. It's been snowing all day. And so, yeah, lovely. All right, here we go. And join me. Okay, I'm just gonna join me. All right. Oops. Okay. We're gonna post that and see if we can get some people in here. Well, folks, I hope that you're all doing very well. I don't know if anybody's watching here. I guess I can kind of keep track of the video. Is this it? There it is. Okay. Hello, I'm sorry that if I'm just trying to figure this out. It's my first time going live. And if you want to come in to the chat, why just let's see. No, I gotta get out of that screen. Participants. Let's see. Anybody coming in? The Zoom link should be there. Just come on in, everybody. And we got, looks like Kevin Carbone. We're going to bring him in. And Kevin, are you there?
Yes. Hello. How are you?
Oh, well, if I was doing any better, I'd be you.
Good one.
Yeah. So how did you find out about this live?
So I heard about you on True Reporting, and I actually got your phone number, but I haven't texted or called yet. So I guess we're doing that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free to call anytime.
Thank you.
So where are you from, and what do you have to say to the audience here at Truth Quest? We probably have about 3 people here.
Yes. So I live in Southern California in Orange County.
Wow.
Orange County, yeah. And fan of your show since I found it, and really enjoy the information. It's very encouraging to hear everything I've heard so far. So yeah, it makes me feel less alone.
Wow. Well, you're very welcome. You know, it can be very lonely, especially when you see something that a lot of other people has never seen, and there's not a whole lot of acceptance in this world. Let's just say. So, have you seen a UFO or anything like that?
The closest thing I've come to was a stargazing experience where I stared at the Pleiadian star cluster for about 2 hours straight.
Wow.
Towards the end of that, I saw this. It was kind of like a brain type of thing, but it was interesting. I see this very distinct purple circle. It was like energy for about 5 minutes straight.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was gone. And yeah, and then after that, there was a lot of downloads. I drew something. If you give me a sec, I can grab it real quick.
Okay, your camera's not on.
Yeah, I'll turn it on.
All right.
I have it right here.
So now, did you vote to recall the illustrious Gavin Newsom?
I did.
Fantastic, fantastic. I also signed one for our person up here, Evers
Mm-hmm.
in Wisconsin, where
Wonderful.
I live where you have to actually shovel the weather. So
Okay.
you guys are lucky.
I used to live in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
back when I was very young.
yeah.
Yeah, but this is what I drew the following day. It's kind of a light being. I don't know how well you can see that.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that's what you saw visually.
Yes, and then it was interesting because that was a time looking, staring at the star system really helped me. I'm empathic, so being able to connect with Pleiadians, my roots. I believe I'm Pleiadian here on some mission that I've lost memories like we've heard of, that type of thing.
Uh-huh.
Mostly to raise the vibration of the planet, but yeah, I have not seen a UFO before.
Okay.
But I watched I've seen Dr. Stephen Greer's documentaries, which are very, very enjoyable. And yeah, so I just want to pop on here and say hi.
Well, that's great. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you did. So, what kind of work do you do out there in California land? I mean, I understand that by some accounts it was a red state. I mean, if you take the raw data.
I like to say that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. There's never been a president more popular. I used to wonder what it was like to be alive when John F. Kennedy was president, and I think we got that times 1,000 with Trump. So, and there's going to be 4 more, and maybe more than 4 more years with what they've done to him.
Yes.
But, so yeah, I bet you go surfing all the time.
Funny enough, I'm not actually that big of a beach person.
Oh yeah?
But I will go with family if they're going. We used to go all the time.
So you go surfing?
Never been surfing in my life. I've been boogie boarding before.
Boogie boarding.
Yeah, but okay. I can swim, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pretty amazed first time I went into the ocean because I grew up around a lake, a freshwater lake. And in the ocean, like, you float. I mean, I'm like, okay, how can you ever drown in this? I mean, you float.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that's pretty cool.
So to answer your question, what kind of work I do, I work for Uber a little bit.
Okay.
I'm currently on disability.
Oh, really?
But meanwhile, for mental health stuff, I'm very open about my mental health. It helps me connect with people. And then during my free time, I write music and I game and I draw.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I like when you said you were staring at those stars for so long. I mean, sometimes when you stare at something, especially with the intense contrast as a star in the sky, your eyes can sort of do some wavy things. When I was a kid, me and my 2 brothers we were having a contest in the back seat. We were going up to grandma's house, which was a long drive. And so we decided, hey, let's see who could stare at the sun the longest. And so I was by the window and we're staring at the sun. We're using the odometer in the front seat as the timer. And both my brothers quit. And I didn't know it because I was looking out the window. I couldn't see them behind me. We were seeing who could stare at the sun the longest. I burned a hole in my retina.
Oh, wow.
So I have a permanent blind spot in my aiming eye. So yeah.
I have a similar story on that note. I was in a place in my life I wasn't doing that well. And I think I was under the impression that I could get information by sun gazing. So I closed one eye and I stared at it with my right eye for a bit. And yes, I burned a little hole in my retina as well.
Did you?
So at the focal point of my vision, I cannot read clearly. So thankfully my left eye is fine.
Yeah, if it's only in one eye, the other eye can compensate. So, So yeah, but what I saw was amazing because I could see all the flares going off the sun and everything. But now the people who do sun gazing, they do it in the morning or at night when the sun is low in the sky and it's not as harmful to your eyes. And there's even a guy on YouTube, you can look him up. I can't remember his name. He's some holy man in India. And he said this goddess came to him in the jungle one day when he was like 12 and taught him how to live without eating or drinking. And so he was in his mid 80s, like 84, 83, 84. And he claimed he hasn't eaten anything or drank anything in 70 years. And so they put him in the hospital. Have you heard about this guy?
No, I have not. Not this one in particular.
So they put him in the hospital for in India for observation for 10 days. He didn't eat anything. He didn't drink anything. He took a bath every couple of days, but they always measured the water. It was always the same. And he was totally fine. He was very skinny. But they checked him all out. He's like in his early to mid 80s when this happened, and he had the organs and the brain of a 25-year-old.
Fascinating.
And he stares at the sun while barefoot on the ground, which you couldn't do here in Wisconsin. It's like below zero out there. And I guess in the evening or in the morning for 40 minutes, it's something you have to build up to. But he does it for 40 minutes, and a sticky sweet substance comes from the roof of his mouth. And that's what he subsists on. So they took samples of that. They took samples of his blood. Don't take his blood. That's his only moisture. Come on. But, they obviously couldn't prove that he hasn't eaten or drank anything in 70 years, but for 10 days, and they filmed it all. It's all speeded up. You can watch it on YouTube. Crazy.
Cool.
Amazing. And then I heard another story. I think it was Emery Smith or someone like that, talking about work being done in an underground cavern somewhere, far away from where food would be. So what they did was they brought these lamps down there, these special lamps, a certain kind of light, and they had to inject these men with some kind of, chemical cocktail that allowed them to absorb all their energy through those light lamps. So,
Cool. Amazing.
Maybe we can be a plant. I mean, think about it. You're putting your feet on the ground and the dirt, and you're looking at the sun, and you're getting energy from it. That's pretty amazing.
Definitely.
Plus, he saves a lot of money at the grocery store. Just think about it.
Yeah.
He walks in, walks right out.
Cool. Question.
Okay.
Have you ever had dreams where you're on a spaceship?
No, I can't say that I have. I can't say that I have. No, not that I can recollect. And I've never done any past life regression or hypnotic regression. I don't know. I have seen UFOs close up on at least 2 different occasions, one with a witness and one without a witness. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing. And one of the things that I like to always bring up is this, and that's the sketch that William Tompkins did of what the astronauts actually saw on the moon when they landed. There's these giant ships, because he was in an underground, and there's like a digital sketch I did of it to kind of maybe would have looked a little bit more like that. But so there was 2 minutes missing on the broadcast from the moon when they landed. 2 minutes missing, and ham radio operators, and you can listen to this, you can look it up on the intranet. But ham radio operators caught this in those 2 missing minutes, because at that time the the audio from the lunar missions was not encrypted or garbled, so they were able to get it. And they said, and we didn't know what they saw till William Tompkins did this sketch. They said, okay, so NASA and the astronauts, NASA asked, "What's there?" And moments later, Apollo comes back with, "These babies are huge, sir. They're enormous. And oh my God, I'm telling you, there are other spacecraft out there lined up on the far side of the crater edge. They're on the moon watching us." And they kept saying, we know. Okay, turn the camera away. Stop talking about it. Turn the camera away. Stop talking about it. As soon as they turned the camera away and stopped talking about it, then magically they were on the air again. But so since 1969, we've been wondering what they actually saw. That's what they saw. Incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to?
Yeah, I'll make this quick. I had a dream once. This was like towards the end of 2017. I was on a small spaceship craft. Felt like there's a viewport, and we were actually flying into the sun.
Wow.
And it seemed like it was our sun. I've had some interesting physical limitations since hospitalization I had related to my mental health
Really?
back in March 2018. Shortly following that dream, I think there may have been some interesting time displacement or something.
Yeah.
Because I've experienced some very odd time displacement things where one example was where I ran a half marathon with no training and was not sore the next day. But however, I was sore a year before.
Mm.
I don't understand that. Still don't. But yeah, those are a couple of experiences that I can share, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, this is really just a test show.
Okay.
And have you read this book, The Day After Roswell?
Looks good. No,
It's
I
a
have
great
not.
book. It was written in 1997, and that was supposed to be the year of the disclosure, but sadly it didn't happen. The way he tells it, there were five generals, and they all agreed that that knew about the UFO issue and aliens and everything, and they had an agreement amongst them that the last one alive of the five generals, the last one that's alive, can come forward with the truth if they want to. So Colonel Phil Corso's boss, General Trudeau, was one of those generals, and he was the last one alive. And he came to Phil Corso and he said, "Look, Phil, I'm the last guy, and I can't do it. I can't do this to my family. I can't do it." He goes, "But I'm going to give it to you. You can do it if you want. You can release it. I relinquish the burden to you." And so when Phil Corso's granddaughter was asking what he did in the army or in the service, that's when he knew he had to come out with this book telling people the true story. He was there when they decided to keep this all quiet. And it was never supposed to be forever. It was only supposed to be temporary until they figured out who these people were and what they wanted. Then they were going to tell the public. But of course, they've been delaying ever since because they're getting all this magical stuff from these extraterrestrials. And they're living off planet. And, according to William Tompkins, this is one of the ships that he designed, and it's kilometers long. It's like a spacecraft carrier. These littler ships cruise around, and they are all housed in there. and we've got hundreds of these ships. And so, you know, so we could be like, on your next vacation, you could go to the moon. I mean, over to the Mars colony or something. We've got it all. It's all there. But unfortunately, from those who supposedly were there and are there, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Mhm.
So we have to get that together. I'm going to take a look over here at the chat. All right, there we are. Corbin Phoenix. Hey, Corbin, how you doing? Cloaked Unseen World. All right. I want to thank our Cloaked Unseen World for contributing to the show. I also want to thank Lynn. I want to thank Lynn very much. I want to thank Lorraine very much for contributing to the show. And Amerimotion, fine company. Thank you for contributing to the show. Couldn't do it without you. Hello to everyone in the chat. And I'm going to put the link in the chat again. You can join me here if you want. And let me see, how do I get back? This is my first time doing this. So first time with the blue screen too. Well, thank you, Kevin. Anything else you want to say? You want to say hi?
That's good. That's good for now. I don't know anyone in the chat yet, but I'm glad you're all here.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thanks. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Peace in. All right. Now, looks like we got another one. CombatKarl. Let's see what CombatKarl has to say. Hey, Mr. Combat, how are you there? You're connecting your audio, okay?
Hey, there he is.
Hello, Mr. Combat.
Hey, Aaron.
How you doing?
Oh, great. Can you see me or not?
Nope, I see your name, CombatKarl.
All right, let's
hit the little video icon there in the bottom.
There it is. There we go.
There he is. How you doing?
A long time no see, old friend.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you don't remember me, I'm the Doberman guy from Red Pill 78. You and I
the Doberman guy, yeah.
Yeah, and there's the puppies that are all grown up now.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they're sleeping.
That's
so
amazing.
I'm so excited to catch you on your first test show. I always enjoyed, you would always call in either right before me or right after me. So, anyway, so I'm absolutely excited that you got your show up and running, and it's turned out great so far. I liked your first guest, the first talker. He was awesome.
Thank you.
But so what would you like to know about, or I know I've had many experiences in my time. In fact, actually, right after Hurricane Laura, I saw a UFO. I was, the power was out. We were without power for almost 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting on my front porch, because it was a hot summer night, and it looked like a meteor shooting across the sky. Wow. And then it came to a slamming halt. And then it stood there for a second, and then it spiraled down like a leaf falling from a tree.
Wow.
And then it went straight down and stopped. And then it shot probably a good 30 miles off to my right. And then it trying to remember what it did. Anyway, it bounced around for a while, and then it went from because I was watching it. It went right over to where my wife was working at the fire station, like right above where she would have been at. And then it like zipped off probably 200 or 300 miles or up into the atmosphere, and it got really, really small in the distance. you know, size wise, so I could see it way out in the distance. And then it shot back up again, and then it went straight up into the sky, right above my house. And then it got the size of, you know, my fist. I could literally hold my fist up in front of my face. Wow. And it was that big and that bright. It was just, wow, just really significant. And then it blinked out, disappeared for probably 10 or 15 seconds. And then it reappeared again, back at its original size. Wow. Now, the trippy thing about this is I've seen orbs before, and, you know, red orbs, white orbs. This one had a yellow flashing light on it, like you would see on a helicopter or an airplane. And no matter how far away it got, or even when it expanded really, really large, I could always see that tiny yellow flashing light.
Was there any sound? No sound?
Oh, no sound. Nothing. No. It was, and like I said, my experience was probably, I think, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes at the most. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't very long, but the one thing that I focused on was that yellow flashing light, wow, because we only see those on helicopters on our technology anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, so this one was a trip. So, you know, we know it's, well, I mean, I'm assuming it was our advanced technology. Yeah. But why was it doing those maneuvers over a rinky-dink, very low populated town of DeQuincy, Louisiana? Who knows? I mean, we have one little airstrip there, and that's it. It's a railway station. So, well, but that was during Hurricane Laura, right after Hurricane Laura, right before Hurricane Delta.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was the first one. But yeah, it's a shame I tried to look at the images that you brought up about what they saw on the moon. And I've researched it before, but I've never seen any sketch works about. Yeah, unfortunately, even on my big 50-inch screen, I couldn't really. Oh, that's much better.
The lighting is, oops, it just went away.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite something. There's
that
1,
is
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Giant spacecraft.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then there's the, the digital one that I did.
Oh, wicked cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love your artwork and your Elvis impersonations.
Thanks.
I mean, you're a rock star in my book, brother.
Well, and I maybe you're aware of my most famous discovery. I don't know about the Atacama being, the mystery.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's the mystery? Okay. Look at the ankles, from the ankle to the knee to the waist. Look at the proportions and take a look at that. Beavis. It's totally Beavis.
No kidding, right? Totally solved. Oh, that is so awesome.
So I did that. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. I mean,
that is awesome.
I do it for free. I do all this research.
Oh, I know.
Painstaking. And this one solved 2 mysteries. Where's Beavis? And what's this Atacama being? Right?
No kidding, right? So, yeah, I just, when that first came out, I was just sitting there trying to imagine walking through the jungle, or hell, even in your own house, and seeing a humanoid of that stature, that small, mm-hmm, fully functional, mm-hmm, and just trying to imagine it, and it's really hard to perceive. Well, they're tiny. They're not even Smurf size. I mean, at least Smurf size. You can, 3 apples tall, right? Well, this guy's only 1 apple tall. Well, not even an apple tall.
There was a farmer down in South America that caught one of these things in a trap, and he's like hanging on to the trap, and they had footage of it from when it was fresh, and then it got kind of like mummified, but it's almost the identical, same size as this thing. It looked
I kind of remember seeing still pictures or something like it, and it looked kind of gross, but
Yeah.
I mean, but it couldn't tell the size of it. I mean, you couldn't really distinguish how big or small it was.
It was about this big. It was about this big.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At first they had a video of it and they were showing, you know, you could tell the scale. But yeah, the still images you can't tell because they didn't put anything for scale. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
They should. So any new puppies coming?
Oh God, no. Oh man, those 10 were a surprise.
Oh,
They were a surprise. No, they're I'd had their father for almost 10 years.
Mhm.
And he had actually passed away, and we found out that we had a female with us for 3 or 4 years,
Mhm.
and never had any pregnancies or anything with her until after he passed away, and then we found out she was pregnant.
Wow.
And then she gave a litter of 10 puppies.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
we found homes for all of them but 2, and yeah, I kept Silver Bells and Popcorn Kernel.
Oh, I remember they used to be all over you when you were calling
Yes,
in.
they were all over me. Now, oh God, now they still try to sit on my lap, but they're 70 pounds already.
Yeah.
At least 70, pushing 80. So, and they're only 18 months old. They've got another 80 pounds to put on. They're gonna get big.
Wow.
So do you remember my dinosaur story
Dinosaur story.
on that I told on Red Pill 78?
I must have missed that one.
All right. Well, this is a great story for your show since you
Okay.
like the weird stuff.
Yeah, I love the weird stuff. Yeah.
All right. So when I was 19, I was in the Marine Corps and I was attached to Tandem Thrust. And we went out to Australia, in outback Queensland, Australia. And it's a big military exercise where the Guamanian Army, Australian Army, United States Army, and the Poland Army get together and do an exercise against the United States Marine Corps. Well, I was out there as a Marine, and we were setting up targets for our jets, F-16s, to blow up. And my primary mission was to build roads into raw, untouched outback Australia, so we can get our heavy equipment in, troop movement, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, one day we're 8 hours away from civilization, and I was in a backhoe and a dozer. I think the Marine I was with was in the dozer, and I was in a front end loader. And I pulled up to this little bayou / stream that was going, across our pass, and it had a small earthy bridge, but not large enough for any of the equipment to get over. So my job was to tear down the existing bridge, widen it, make it a lot bigger.
Oh.
And I saw this large tree falling down over the water. So I climbed out on it to inspect the bank and see what any creatures were in the water. And I was standing on this massive tree, and it's about 2.5 feet, 3 feet above the water. And then of course it has another 18, 20-inch trunk on it. So I'm standing maybe 4 feet above the water, and I walk, and it goes all the way out over halfway across the width of the stream. And so I was standing out there in the middle of it, and as I was observing the water, this massive 3-foot head popped up out of the water. Now, I'm from Louisiana. I know what alligators look like, and I know there's crocodiles out there, and I've seen large snakes, and I've never seen anything like this. It was a large snake-like head or lizard-like head. At first I couldn't really figure out what it was. And it was about, the tip of its nose was about 6 inches wide. And then it's from the tip of its nose to the back where where its ear was, or where its neck start was, almost 3 feet. And I was just sitting there, couldn't figure out what it was. And then all of a sudden its body popped up out of the water, and its body was over 10 feet, at least 10 feet long, and about 3.5 feet wide. And when it came up out of the water, not a single drop of water rested on its back. It was bone dry.
Wow.
And it slowly started moving closer to me. And as I'm looking at this thing going, it's too wide to be a snake. Its head is too long to be a snake, but could it be an anaconda? I mean, I've never really seen one, so it could be, you know, it's got the length. And then its tail popped up out of the water. And this thing was over 18 feet long. This is the largest land creature I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this thing was just massive. And I'm like, well, that's the strangest looking snake I've ever seen. And its head's still too big, but you know, and I'm just sitting there trying to figure out what this thing is. And it just happened that I was relieving myself in the water at the same time as this was going by. So, you know, so while I'm taking care of my business, this thing is getting closer and closer and closer to me. And then all of a sudden, 4 legs pop up out of the water, and it is completely resting on the surface of the water. All of its legs were above the water, tail was above the water. Its entire body was resting on the surface of the water, and it was bone dry. And like I said, it was over 18 feet. So, you know, we're pushing 19 to 20, possibly even 21 feet. Yeah, I couldn't really tell how long the tail was because the tip of its tail stayed under the water. But the majority of its tail was above the water. It was a solid grayish brownish color, and its skin had like microscopic dimples in it. It wasn't, it didn't have scales. It didn't have snake skin. In the South down here, we have these little tree lizards that change colors depending on what they're sitting on. They're not necessarily chameleon, but they'll go from a light green to a dark green to a grayish color to a brown to a dark brown, depending on what they're sitting on. And if you would have taken one of those lizards and turned it to 18, 20 feet long, it would have looked almost identical to it. But anyway, so this thing literally swam right up underneath me into my urine stream and was smelling me. Now, of course, I know how a predator acts, and I know what it feels like to be judged whether I'm consumable or not.
Right.
So that was a trip. So it turns out to be after a long time, the term was just giant lizard. What was it? Do I have it written down? I think I do on my computer. Megalania, mega bummer. Hold on. I have a sticky, excuse me. Trying to look it up because I have it written down.
Okay.
On my sticky notes.
So you think it was actually a dinosaur?
Yeah. It's definitely.
What did his legs look like? What did his legs look like? I mean, were his back legs big and massive like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or?
No. No. It like I said, it resembled a small little tree lizard, except it was 20 feet long.
Okay.
When he popped up above the water, his front legs were probably in total length 2 feet. His back legs could have been closer to 3 feet. Mm-hmm. So he could have, because his front legs his elbows were bent, and his claws were on the surface, just under its jaw. And then its hind legs were, in front of the tail, and they drifted upside down on the surface of the water. Okay. Like I said, this thing, it wasn't a heavy bone dinosaur like we see on TV. and in the movies. This thing was a really lightweight, hollow boned. It had to have been hollow boned to float like that.
Mhm.
But the Megalania, Monster Quest did a story on it a few years ago.
Okay.
And it just happened that they did a story about the time frame that I was there. I was there in 1997. And it turns out that a group of hikers or campers were attacked by a massive land lizard.
Wow.
And two of them were killed, one escaped. So,
Wow.
and this thing could have, size, speed, it easily could have taken a human out with no problem.
Wow.
Just think of an alligator. If you look at an alligator or crocodile, they are dense, heavy creatures, solid muscle. They're very heavy. This thing did not look like, he didn't look that muscular. Like I said, his skin, it was the trippiest thing I've ever seen. I mean, he was massive, but for his size, you would expect him to be, I would have expected him to be more like an alligator or a crocodile with a dense bone, because alligators can float on the surface they can rise to the surface, but they can't float on the surface. Their head can come out, their back can come out. They can even pop their little toes out of the water, but still most of their body is submerged.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was able to get on top of the water.
Teflon, maybe it was like some kind of a salamander, like a giant salamander or something.
Yeah, but still, even salamander. Well, I mean, no, because salamanders have different type of heads. There was no, like alligators and crocodiles. They have bony structures on their face, on their snout, and on their eye ridges.
Sure.
He had mild, very very slim-lined eye ridges, but no nostril ridges like a snake. Like I said, I was confused on whether it was a snake or a reptile because it had no ridges on its face. It had no ridges on its body. He was completely smooth.
But you said he had 3 foot long, kind of like a crocodile.
Right.
Type.
Similar to that, a little wider. Like I said, it was in between a snake and a reptile. It had snake-like features, except, snake has, its skin has scales on it.
Mm-hmm.
This thing didn't. This
just
thing,
dimples.
Yeah, just dimples. That the water just was completely repelled from it.
Wow. And
so I got to pee on a dinosaur. I made physical contact with a dinosaur and survived.
So was he pissed? Pissed.
Oh, he was pissed.
He was pissed on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And after this, I reached for my camera and then I realized I left it in my truck.
Oh
in the loader.
Oh
yeah.
And this is in Australia.
Yeah, and this is in Australia. And and I had an old 35 millimeter Canon with a 300 millimeter zoom lens. I was already, I've got pictures of kangaroos and emus and all kinds of the only thing I didn't see while I was out there was a koala. But I went to holler at my fellow Marine to get my camera, and as soon as I raised my voice, he submerged. Wow. And I never saw him again. And I called him over so he could look, and I ran and grabbed my camera and came back, and we sat there for almost 3 hours. Nothing. I tried baiting him with I think we killed a small lizard and something, and was just throwing whatever we could in the water to entice it, but he was looking for an easy large meal, and I was either too difficult to get to or too much of a threat, too much work for him. So
yeah. Wow. That's incredible. I mean, there's a lot of very strange animals in Australia. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that there's some stuff that we haven't discovered yet, like the duck-billed platypus. That's a strange one.
Oh yeah, and then you got the what's that tiger called? The dog.
Tasmanian devil.
Not the Tasmanian devil, but I think it's the Tasmanian tiger.
Oh, okay.
It's
Oh.
got a dog-like head with a freakishly large jaw.
Oh, like a hyena kind of.
Okay, if you were to extend a hyena's, okay, if you would have put an alligator's head on a dog, that's what the Tasmanian devil looks like, or Tasmanian tiger looks like.
Wow.
It is this freakishly large, elongated skull with, dog-like, fangs on it and teeth on it.
Wow.
And but it's supposed to be a tiger. Anyway, it's very, very freakish looking. They were supposed to be extinct a long time ago, but they've got video footage of one. And they had one. They found a carcass of one where it had recently died, and the skin was still on it. So it was a fresh death. So there are a few that are still out there, but it was supposed to have been extinct, thousands of years ago. And in 1970s, they got videotape of it. So
wow.
But yeah, Australia is an amazing place.
Yeah, and the stars are different too.
All right. Now, what about you? I mean, have you had any experiences that are unexplained by mainstream media and mainstream science?
Well, yeah, I saw my first UFO in 1996 over Chippewa Falls, and it was a silver disc. I have a model of it over there, but it looks just like the one that Bob Lazar worked on, the sport model. And I was driving my car from Door County, Wisconsin to Minnesota to visit my folks in St. Bonifacius. And it was 3 p.m. when I was in Chippewa Falls. And I see this silver disc in the sky. It's a clear sky, 3 p.m, beautiful day, summer day. I pulled my car over. I was on the highway. But the highway at that time was routed through Chippewa Falls. Just on the outside of town. And I stopped my car, I got out, and I was looking at this thing, and it was zipping, like it was zipping across the sky and stopping. And when it stopped, it was like totally still. And it would go off at another angle. And it was, about at arm's length, about the length of my finger. So it was pretty close. I mean, it was pretty close. And I grabbed my camcorder, a Sony Handycam, and I hit the thumb record button, and it powered up, and then it powered down. Didn't get one single frame, never took a charge again. I had to get a new battery for it.
Oh, wow.
And then it zipped off at like light speed. I did a little animation in one of my shows. I can't remember which one of my early Truth Quest shows of the incident. But yeah, that freaked me out, because even though I always wanted to see one, it freaked me out. I mean, it gives you have a ooky feeling, like you're not supposed to see something. And
well, I don't. I've had as many experiences as I've had. 16 years in the military, in the 6 years in the Marine Corps, 10 years in the Navy. I've been to 23 countries and 39 states.
Wow.
I've explored the world looking for the truth, long before I even knew what the truth was.
Awesome.
And when you're looking, you never do find it. When you stop looking,
right.
Shit happens all the time.
Yeah.
I can't ever remember getting an eerie feeling. Even when they were really, really close. When I was at Naval Weapons Station Fallbrook as a military police officer, we had to do security rounds for all the underground magazine bunkers. And I was out there checking one of our most secure facilities. And I pulled my patrol unit up just far enough to where I can open the gate. And there's cameras everywhere. And as I got out of my unit, walked up and grabbed the gate and opened it up. I turned around and looked at my vehicle, and probably 50 to 100 yards behind my unit, there was a white orb and a red orb, and it looked like a vehicle traveling. The road goes this way, and it looked like it was traveling this way. And of course, mile and a half, 2 miles in the distance, you could see the main highway and the car's headlights and whatnot, which are traveling in a different direction. So I called dispatch, asked them, said, "Hey, are you guys seeing this? Can you see me on the camera? Do you see what's behind my vehicle?" And of course he said, "Well, we see you fine, but no, we can't see what's behind your vehicle and, or my unit anyway." So it turned out to be a big deal. I called, the watch commander, had 4 or 5 patrolmen come out there, and there was a heavy dew that morning. So, of course it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. It's still dark. But the grass is white from the moisture on it. So when you touched it with your foot, it would go dark. So you could see where any tracks were anywhere out there. And of course, there are no roads going horizontal like this on that area. It's just all off-road mountains. And we found no tracks, no traces. We searched like 7 square miles that night. But so, I mean, that was close.
So you said it was a white light and a red light. Were they like one on top of the other?
No, it looked like a vehicle.
It looked like a vehicle.
So at night, if you were to see a vehicle drive by like this, you'd have the headlights and the taillights.
I see.
And all you would see would be one light in the front and one light in the back. And that's what it looked like.
Interesting.
But they were, and they were hovering about, 2.5, 3 feet up off the ground like a headlight would. And they just went right by my unit, and I watched them until they disappeared behind one of the buildings. I was like, all right, calling this shit in. I need to back up out here. We've got an unidentified vehicle and, trespassing on a secure facility. And of course, nothing, just nothing.
That sounds like sort of like something I saw with a witness. The one I did see with a witness. However, this witness does not want to come forward, unfortunately. But we were at the YMCA in Sturgeon Bay here. It was 8:30 at night, and at treetop level, these gigantic lights, like as big as a VW bug, these giant lights, a red light and a white light above it. And they were going across the sky at a very smooth rate. And then the bottom light started going up towards the top light, and then it just blinked and continued on. And I stopped my car, and this other person that was with me, we got out of the car. We got 4 good pictures of it. And I tried videotaping it, but it didn't even show up on the video. And the pictures on the camera that were caught by the other person, they were just pinpricks. I had to blow them up to see what they looked like. There was actually a cluster of 5 different lights in each one.
Oh, wow.
But they combined into one and continued on. And there was no sound. 2 cars stopped to ask what these things were. Of course, how are we supposed to know, right?
Right.
But yeah, that sounds kind of like that one.
Yeah, but I've never, out of all my experiences, I've never heard a sound. I've never heard a hum. I've never felt energy, radiation, nothing. It's like if I didn't witness it, like it could happen behind me and I would not have known.
Wow.
So like when you said you saw the craft and you felt, you were scared or intense fear, all my experiences have just been, oh, that is cool, because I know what it is. I know it's not supposed to be there, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
It's like,
no, I didn't have any fear about it, but it was kind of an ooky feeling, like an inner feeling like you're not supposed to see it, but it really wasn't anything fearful. I wasn't fearful at all. I mean, I was standing there, trying to film it, but yeah, it was just strange.
Ooh. I mean, we're getting ready to get hit hard by this winter storm.
Oh, yeah?
dropping out there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's cold here too, but it's snowing all day.
But if you got time for one more story, I got an unbelievable one for you.
Okay, I got one person in the queue, and that person will be next. And I'm sure.
Well, I mean, you can put everybody up on the screen and let them chit chat.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can let us all communicate at the same time.
Oh, I guess we could do that too. Well, why don't you start your story? I'll bring him in, and then after you're done, then he can say something.
Okay. So, long story short, this was 7 years ago. I was living at the base of Mount St. Helens, right along the Sispus River.
Oh, I guess we could do that. Mute your stream, please. Thank you. Well, why don't you start your story? I'll bring him in.
All right. Good job, Ryan. All right. So anyway, I was at the base of Mount St. Helens. I can't see you anymore, though, Aaron.
Oh, you can't?
Oh, no, sir. All right. Now I can see you. There you go.
Okay.
So anyway, we lived in a tiny little cabin, and I'm 6'2", 260 pounds. I'm a big guy. The cabin that we stayed in, if I walk down the center of the house, I could stand up straight. But if I go towards any of the windows or the walls, it had a very steep roof. So the ceiling came down to about 5'4".
There we go.
So when I went to bed that night at 9 o'clock, my headboard, I have to, when I get in the bed, I have to sit down at the foot of the bed and then lay down towards the window where my pillow is.
Okay.
So I went to bed at 9 o'clock at night. My wife and Dobermans were in the living room, and I fell asleep, and I woke up falling head first. Now, when I woke up with the sensation of falling. My arms were at my side, my feet were perfectly straight, and I was falling at a high velocity of speed.
Wow.
I reacted by throwing my arms up, and my head was getting ready to impact in between the nightstand that was mounted to the wall and the mattress. And there was no room because it was wall, nightstand mounted to it, queen size mattress, and then on the other side it was nightstand, and there was like literally no room. Very, very tight fit. I threw my arms in front of me to break my fall, and with all my strength, I could not even slow myself down. I was falling at a tremendous rate of speed. I hit so hard, my head went right in between the nightstand and the mattress. I fractured my collarbone, and I was stuck there in a vertical position until I shifted my weight and threw myself out, because my head was firmly jammed in between the nightstand and the mattress. I hit the ground on my back and, was severely confused about what had just happened. Is that a skunk?
No,
That looks like a skunk. Oh, it's just a fat cat. I'm like, dude, you've got a bad taste in cats, man. So anyway, my wife heard the thud. Dogs came running into the room. They saw me laying on the ground.
Wow.
And I went into, first thing I did is, I pulled myself together, got up, I went into the bathroom to see how bad my face was scratched up. Because it was a rough wood nightstand. And I had a couple scrapes on the left-hand side of my face. But what was interesting is on my right temple, right here, was a perfect triangle with very sharp edges. And
Wow.
It was a chemical burn that lasted for over a month.
Wow. Ouch.
So, a lot of things are interesting about this. First of all, there is no hole in my ceiling. Where I fell through, the ceiling was only 5'4".
Okay.
I woke up falling with enough time to realize I was falling and react to it.
Wow.
Which means that takes seconds. That takes at least 5 seconds in real time. How far can you travel in 5 seconds at full speed, at free fall velocity?
About 60 or 80 feet or something.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now remember, there's no hole in my ceiling. All right. And even if I wanted to, on impact, my feet were still through the ceiling.
Wow.
Because the nightstand and the bed is, 2.5 feet up off the ground.
So there's no hole after you come through it, you say. And
Nope.
there was, I mean, and
Nope.
you were free falling. You weren't hitting anything until you hit the nightstand and right?
Yep.
So now maybe you were abducted by a craft. I know they have a thing where they can travel through walls and ceilings and such. I think even the military has that now. The military has that now too.
Right.
But,
Yeah. So through all my knowledge of the different technologies out there, I believe I was taken by a military branch. Because, so that's just my postulating. I mean, because what I experienced was portal travel. Someone opened a portal.
I see.
And I fell through it.
Sure.
It's like they flew over, or it doesn't matter where their end of the portal was, but it's like they took me off of on a gurney, lifted up at a 45-degree angle, and just dropped me.
Wow.
And just dumped me out. And
mad at you or something. Oh my God.
Right. And that's what it was like. That's what it was like as I was dead weight falling. That sensation of falling made me aware. And I opened my eyes, and and it's just like, I mean, it's mind boggling. So many questions come up, like, why did they miss their mark? I mean, if they're abducting people at an astronomical rate, they say 1 out of every 3 people is abducted in their life.
Right.
What happened to cause them to miss their mark? I mean, if I would have landed in my bed, it would have been, okay, it's a fucked up dream. Okay. Well, I would have probably broke my neck.
Yeah.
But it's just weird, anyway, a lot of questions. So what are your questions on it? Sorry. I've thought about this an awful lot, and I think I've covered a lot of angles, but
I think the portal thing is a pretty interesting concept. Yeah. Wow. That's freaky. That if something like that. And now, did your wife believe the story, or did she think you're just trying to do a backflip again or something?
Yeah. If I can't stand vertical in that room, how am I going to do a handstand and fracture my collarbone trying to wedge my head in between the nightstand and a mattress?
Wow.
My feet my butt would be hitting the ceiling almost.
Wow.
My feet couldn't even get up. Couldn't even get vertical.
That's a mystery. Wow. Interesting.
That's yeah. It's there's a lot of questions with that one. So
you might want to get some trail cams in every room. Put a trail cam.
Well, I mean, here's the kicker. The chemical burn on my temple, and the fact that I don't remember anything outside of waking up falling, lets me know that the mind wipe, the chemical mind wipe that Corey Good talks about is very. They talk about how effective their memory erasing capabilities are. But I've searched all over the internet. I've never found anyone else with a perfect triangle branded on their skull.
Wow.
They have 3 puncture marks. Everybody has the triangle shaped puncture marks or circle shaped puncture marks or implants implants these days are so small. Good luck finding them, even if you've got them.
I got some marks on my arm here, kind of in a trapezoid shape. It's really strange. Bruises.
Right.
Very strange. Well,
here overnight with no idea how they got there. And how long?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. One morning I had one, and then this morning I have 4 of them. So I don't know. Who knows what it is?
Are you doing heroin while you sleep?
No,
No.
no,
Oh,
I don't.
just checking. You know. Well, you know, I remember doing the first one, but the other 3.
The only heroine I would like to do is a female superhero, a heroine. Okay,
Yes.
that's the only kind of heroine I would do. I don't do that kind of stuff.
All right.
No.
I won't take you more time. Thank you for sharing my story, Aaron.
You're
I love
welcome.
you.
Thank you for stopping by. CombatKarl, thanks. Thank you very much. And say hi to Red Pill next time you talk to him. Oh, and I'm having one of his guests on tomorrow, and that's Jeremy Ray. He's the UFO guy, the MUFON guy, and the Hangar One guy. So
Jeremy, I don't know if I've talked to him yet. See, I've been wanting to talk to Corey Good, and I actually caught Corey live, but he only accepted, like, you know, he was supposed to accept, you know, questions out of the chat, and I him to get me on there because, like I said, you know, out of all the technologies we've heard of with, you know, different races and species and military using to abduct people and return people and interdimensional entities, you know, traversing through solid matter, you know, and, you know, even some portal technology to where they open a portal and, you know, get the victim to walk through or levitate them through the portal through a wall. But I've never falling through their own ceiling.
Right. Wow. That's fantastic. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
All right. You have a good night, Aaron.
You too. Bye-bye.
Enjoy your show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's see. What do I do? Oh, I'm still learning here. How you doing, Ryan?
All right, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
all right.
There we go.
Yeah, now I'm doing fine. So you're doing a test run to get used to the taking
Yeah.
calling.
Yes. Yes. My very first live show. So thanks for hopping on board here.
I just happened to see you pop up. I'm like, oh, I'll go over there. I was over at that ear candy thing that Red Pill was, him and his girlfriend were on with J.R. Mikowski.
Oh yeah, I was going to go over there too, but
They were
I just had to do this. You know, I waited till after his show because I didn't want to interrupt his show.
They were talking about how they met and everything.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I'm going to go watch the rerun of that one then.
Yeah. I guess they met in his live chat, and it was like when he had like no followers.
Wow.
Yeah,
I did see her briefly when he was traveling once. He showed her, she was like sitting on the bed, and he kind of panned the camera over, and she's very pretty girl. Very pretty girl. Seems very nice too.
You did good there.
Yeah. So
my girl's in our future world to be,
yeah.
nonsensical, false belief system,
Yeah.
This belief, the word belief to me is, all it does is it leads to separation of people. Because you got two people believing, you got one side believes Trump won, the other side believes Biden won. Well, somebody's wrong. So you're always going to have a false belief. So what's the point in believing anything unless you believe in everything? Right? It's either everything's real, or, if you believe this, somebody else isn't going to believe that. And that makes one of you always wrong, or does it?
Right.
Or does it?
Is that Puma Punka behind you? Is that
Yeah.
that is Puma Punka?
Yeah, that's the representation of the AI technology matrix.
Okay.
They named it that because they punk you and me with their AI technology.
Yeah. I always like that name, Puma Punka. It sounds kind of like, the old Puma shoes you used to wear.
Yeah, but they named it Puma Punk You for a reason, so they could sit back and laugh at us all.
Well, I think it's a funny name no matter what it is. It just sounds funny.
Yeah, I think they purposely named it that for that specific reason.
But wasn't it just recently sort of discovered? It wasn't someplace that was known before, just, I don't know, a relatively few years ago, right? Is this right?
But this place back here,
Yeah.
I think it was in the 80s they found it, or even 70s.
Yeah, that's pretty recent.
It brought it out to the public.
That's pretty recent. Yeah, that's pretty recent.
Or maybe
Hey.
it was, I don't know how the exact date. It may be even longer than that. It could be the early 1900s. I don't know.
Hey, Ryan, I wanted to ask you, by the way, go sign up for our Cloaked Unseen World, because this guy has some interesting stuff on there. Boy, now I forgot what I was going to say.
The award show once now. I just did that on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah?
It's an hour long, but then I have been on Mark Atwood's show twice.
Oh, very good.
The first one is the one to watch. Well, I mean, they both are, but watch the first one.
I remember what I was going to ask you now. You seem to know a lot about ancient structures. Have you ever heard that when the settlers first came over here, that there was a giant pyramid in where on Montauk Island?
No, I didn't hear about it, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, all this stuff was already here when they brought us back over here. I mean, I think buildings, you know, what they call it, like Edge of Wonder just had a thing on their channel where it shows, you know, mud floods or whatever. That stuff's really, you know, they could liquefy a city and cause into the. I mean, it's real technology.
Yeah,
Honestly, even, you know, but
you know what's interesting? I don't know if you've ever heard of Dorothy Izat, but she's got over 30,000 feet of home movie footage of aliens, alien craft on board their craft, their arms, and them inside their craft.
You have a link to that?
You can look her up, Dorothy Izat.
Is it YouTube?
Again. Well, there's a movie that you can watch. It's called Contact with Beings of Light by Frank Longo. I actually interviewed him years ago, although that interview has been lost. I'll have to do it again. But yeah, she talked to J. Allen Hynek back in the 70s, and he said, just keep gathering evidence until you have so much no one can say anything about it. And when they finally made the movie about her a few years ago, she had 30,000 feet of footage. It's just incredible. But she did a hypnotic regression.
Yeah, I want to do one of those.
And she went back to, she was apparently in Atlantis. And she describes these crystals, like I think some of them are white, some of them are blue. They come from different levels when you dig down in the earth. Mm-hmm. And on one end of them, there was some sort of a metal coupling, some sort of a metal cup with maybe some technology or something in it. But they could use these to carve mountains with. And they were supposed to be used for good, but they ended up being used for weapons. And when you're talking about liquefying stone, these might have been doing that too. But what her job was to do back then in Atlantis was to gather up all of these crystal weapons. And then they took one of them and they carved a circle in the ocean, in the floor of the ocean, and they dumped them all in there. And there's a round circle in the ocean that's very deep. And divers go in, I can't remember what it's called, but you can see it from space and everything. But that might be where these crystals lie, beneath, tons of animal carcasses and whatnot. But
you know that I think it's in Wyoming. There's that thing that looks like an old petrified dead tree, that huge tree that just got off. I forget, like that. Is it Devil's Rock, I think, or something?
Devil's Tower.
Devil's Tower, that's it.
That's
and Jason Q was talking about some stuff he dug up in the documents that he goes through all the time. He's got all that document stuff piled up around him, and he, all that stuff is all drops from the gut. He's getting real source, and it's like I don't understand why the Q movement discounts what he has when a lot of it is associated with Q drops or whatever. And I still don't get why the Q movement only wants to deal with the Q drops. It's like stuff I have evidence that John Quincy St. Clair this technology is real. I have evidence. I have it on video. And it's like, you know, you had like, I don't know, it just boggles my mind why people, it's like, it's supposed to be where we go one, we go all, but yet people are getting left out of the where we go one, we go all.
Well, I think
I don't get it.
I think humans are sort of tribal by, you know, by
Yeah.
nature. And once we find a little niche, they're kind of uncomfortable to leave that niche or to add anything
But
to
the
it.
whole point of the where we go one, we go all is it's everybody's in the same niche.
Right, right. But I'm just saying that, you know,
It's like that defeats the whole meaning of where we go one, we go all.
yeah.
It just
Well,
in my mind, it's like you're the opposite of what you're supposed to be.
well, I think that, you know, the movie that's from with,
Yeah.
I think Jeff Bridges, isn't he in that movie?
Which-
The Where We Go One, We Go All. I think there's a movie that's from
I didn't know that.
White Squall, the White Squall.
I saw that a long time ago, but I haven't.
And so they say where we go one, we go all. That's where they got that. One of the places they got that from.
Yeah.
And with the whole idea of the show, now I haven't seen it, but I've seen enough of it and I know enough about it. I gotta watch it, obviously.
It's a good movie. I remember watching the movie, but I watched it so long ago that before there was even this movement, I don't even, you know, I remember I've heard it phrased a few times.
Well, I think that the point of the movie is they took all these misfits on this ship and they had to all kind of come together and work together to overcome this immense storm that was there. So,
Like or something like that.
so I think that's probably what that is. You know, I'm not seeing this chat, so I have to like move this around so I can see the chat.
Yeah, I can't see.
Let's see here. And there's, you know, always a lag too.
Yeah.
So thank you. Let's see. Julie Size, Carl to go, Liz Tura, Richard Hansen, thank you for coming. Our Cloaked Unseen World. I wonder who that is. Looks interesting. Thank you all for commenting and everything that you're doing. If anyone has, you know, done a super chat, I'm not even sure if that even works, but if you want to go ahead and try, I don't know. I don't think anyone has.
I don't think you have a super chat option right now.
No?
I don't see it on the YouTube screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You got to get that checked.
I probably have to get, this is why I'm doing the test show.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Somehow, probably.
Pardon?
You might have to add the option somehow. I'm not technically sound either.
Really?
Computers, yeah. Just I've you know, I'm good at, you know, thinking, but not thinking, but you know, figure things out. But
So you've never heard of this Montauk Island
I've heard of the island, but I never heard of the
pyramid? I'm not sure if it was a mound or some kind of pyramid, but think about it. Now, I think is it the Air Force or is it the Navy has a secret base there, the Montauk, where they did all those experiments, of course. And if it was the area where a pyramid was, then you have, you know, all of that energy.
Isn't that where they did that Philadelphia experiment too? Or that was in Philadelphia, or that was the name of the ship. I don't even remember.
Yeah, the Montauk Island, they had, one of the things they did, which was fascinating, is they had this giant advanced radar system, and they broadcast a telephone number that wasn't printed anywhere else. They broadcast this number over the whole city that was nearby, and they got like thousands of calls, people just calling up. I just got this number and I just thought of this number and I had to call. So imagine, you know, this was back in the 60s. So imagine what advertisers must be able to do by now. If they could do that back then, you know, just shoot the radar, you know, make them drink Pepsi or make them want Coca-Cola or
powerful this brainwashing is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to control anybody else. I mean, I have a hard enough time controlling myself. I wouldn't want to have to, have the responsibility of controlling other people, but apparently there are these people who want to control people. It's just ridiculous.
I want to go back. I want to go back to the Devil's Rock, though. What I was trying to say about that
Okay.
is
Sure.
that rock, supposedly when that awakening happens and it gets reactivated, that Devil's Tower thing, that thing is a crystal. And what happens is, and I know this is because I've seen the beings out in the forest pick up a rock, put it on their staff, and it turned into a crystal. They could drop it and let it land on the ground, and it turns to rock instantly, petrified looking rock. That's how fast they can transmute and change like a rock to a crystal or this or that. So that Devil's Tower, that supposedly was like, because like there's like one tree that's still active that's that big that we can't see because it's up in the like north of the Arctic up there, like where we don't know, because we don't even know much of anything really. We only know what they teach us and tell us. I'm questioning it, a lot of things still myself. But supposedly this thing, when it gets activated, it's going to be the pretty much it's going to be like a crystal. It's going to turn into a crystal tree. It could literally grow itself because it was chopped off by something real evil, like took a sword to it supposedly and chopped it off. That's where you see it cut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, think of like Transformers, maybe like a huge thing with a huge sword to cut it down. And that was like the tree that gave us like our power. It was like the frequency that put out was this, 528 frequency type of thing.
Well, if that tree was around, you have to know that there were more. And look at the redwood forest. Redwood forest is.
I don't know the number. There's 7 or 8 of them, or something like that. Like big trees like that have been cut.
Yeah. Now I know that for Devil's Tower, I do know a couple of years ago they did like a underground radar thing where they could see through the ground, and they saw a whole root system, like a petrified root system underneath, like as if it were a tree. So, lending credibility to the fact that it was maybe in long time ago was a tree. But everything, like if you look at insects, like back during dinosaur times, they had like dragonflies with 6, 7, 8 foot long wingspans. These things were gigantic. So everything was bigger back then, and everything kind of shrunk, and including the people and the trees. And I think maybe because the atmosphere back then was just so much more rich and things could grow bigger. But
here's the point I want to make about the petrification process. They tell us and they teach us that it's an ancient, like it takes thousands of years for something to petrify. I'm telling you, that's a lie, that it's an instantaneous process.
Oh yeah, I've met some people and I was very petrified.
Yeah, but no, I mean, but like I'm saying, a rock could be turned into a petrified rock or a petrified tree could be crystallized and reformed in an instant. There's actually a Nikola Tesla quote that talks about, like a crystal growing in like water, like something. It's a pretty interesting quote, but it kind of makes me think of that, how that could be a process that, it's a fast process or a slow process, whatever time, like however fast the time and space that you're in and living in makes it. I mean, there could be technology come in and speed up the process of like a bird being born out of an egg, right?
Sure. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Take that bird 10 years to grow or to pop out of the egg, or you can make it happen in an instant or at the time they taught us,
Sure. Yeah. Well, time and gravity are connected. So, increase the gravity, you're speeding up time, right? So, or something like that. So yeah, if you wanted to turn a tree into a petrified tree, you just apply like a lot of gravitational, waves to it until it ages, until that, that might be how they're doing it.
Jason Q would be someone you'd like to have on your show. He has a lot of, you ask a question, if he doesn't have the answer, he knows where to find it, or
Who is this?
Jason Q. He's on, he's been on Charlie Ward a few times. He used to be on this show, what is it? Low Vibes. I think he's on there once or twice a week right now. It's like all the shows he goes on end up getting banned from YouTube. It's like,
Oh boy. Yeah. We're trying not to get banned here.
Well,
Hopefully, hopefully we won't.
Well, I mean, they don't. It depends. Like on the shows are covering more than just him, though. They may not be banned because of him, but
Mhm.
I mean, and there's still a couple of shows actually that he has been on that are still up and running. So it's not all the shows he's been on. You know,
Okay.
it's not because, like I said, it could be for many reasons. But I mean, obviously, he knows what to avoid, and what not to.
Yeah. I'd like to get this show over on killed.net too, and get on that foxhole.
But like the evidence I have showing that this walking through walls training system patent application by John Quincy St. Clair is real is I have video evidence, photograph. I could show you 6 photos right now that shows a being phasing in a tree or walking in a tree. I mean, that's the evidence. That's showing you here. This is real. These beings can take this light body's form and walk through trees, and so can we.
And you've got this on your channel on our Cloaked Unseen World.
I have it in breakdowns. I have those images. I show them on some of my videos. Yeah, and I showed them on the Mark Atwood show too.
By the way, that's a great name, our Cloaked Unseen World. That's a really good name. So
If you give me the screen, I can show you 3 or 4 photos now that'll show the being in the tree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you have that. I mean, I have them pretty much. They're ready to go if you want to see them. They're just images. It's not going to be like a. I can put it on video too in slow motion. I mean, you know, I can pretty much do anything.
Knock yourself out.
All right, let's see. Host disabled participation, it says. So,
Oh, I have to able it.
yeah.
Let's see. Screen share. Okay.
One image I'll show you that's going to amaze you.
All right.
When I explain it to you.
And for everyone else who's in the chat, if you want to come on and join the show, you are welcome to. And it looks like we're getting a screenshot here.
Yeah, let me see.
That's a goofy show. I wonder what show that is.
Let's see. This is my Discord channel. It's not like a big channel or nothing. But let's see. Where is that?
Discord.
Here's a couple of them. Here's one. All right, here's one. So you could see, let me open it up here. So you can see this beam right here.
It looked like Trump for a second there. I saw.
You see this green orb thing, this green light? But you see the outline of an arm, the beam's arm right here, right? Then you got
where
in the tree. You see the tree? This big tree on the left.
Yeah, yeah.
If you trace the blur, it's an arm. This is the head, the light head. And then you can see like the left arm. Now, when I go to the next image, it's a different angle of the same, because this is on video. This is like the next frame. It's moved further. And then like I have other frames that it keeps moving further.
But now, maybe that green is just a kind of reflection on the camera lens from the intense light coming through the.
That's what they want you to think. That's the auto-programmed response that a lot of people have. And that's, I mean, okay. So how do you explain this one then?
You do have the sun. I see the sun right over here.
Okay, so this one, how do you explain this one? This is a tree right here. There's no sun can penetrate the tree from the other side. These lights are 3 different, or there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 different beams in their light body murky ball state. And watch, if you even, I can even zoom in here and you can see the shape of the heads. You can almost see the nose of the beam. These are separate beings in their light body state in the forest. There's no way it's the sun unless there's mirrors on the tree and all these spots. There's no way this is sun. This is them in their light body form. And look, this is if you look at this thing right here, this is a staff of a being. It's touching the tree. And this
this
stick right here.
I'm not seeing what you're saying. I haven't been looking at these for hours like you have, maybe.
I know, that's why I'm going to show you. This is
I don't see.
see the stick that I'm zooming into.
That's
See where it's touching the tree.
Yeah,
Branch. It's touching the tree.
sure.
But look at the angle. They're always at an angle. The beans are holding it. There's a bean that's cloaked in this area right here that I'm going to zoom in and out of. It's cloaked in this area, and the bean is right here would be where the head is. You can see the discoloration, the blur. That's because it's taking this light body state like this. It's in the in-between phase of this over here, where it's becoming, there's like another image right here where the being, there's like so many, they're just everywhere. They're interdimensional beings. They're the ones in control of materializing and manifesting our world. Like the faces on the wall behind me. Those faces on the wall, that's your pareidolia. They come in sets of 3 on the wall behind me.
Mm-hmm.
They're sets of 3 faces, and if you zoom in to it, those other things, those are representing the trees. Those beams that you see behind me, and then doors that some are closed, like look like they're filled with like stone, and then you got the one open door behind me. That's in and out of dimension is what it's representing, and they can open any of those closed doors and bring things in and out. And I got this this next image. Let me go to my. It's gonna be quicker to find here.
I don't know, Ryan. I didn't really see anything that didn't look like just a picture of the forest. But like I said, I'm not looking at it as closely as you are or for as long as you are. I don't know. I just don't see it.
Because I have this, I could prove to you that this isn't a lens flare, because this thing flies, it's an orb. It flies live on video through the forest, literally. In the video, 7 minutes and 15 seconds. Watch, I'll show you right now that that's not what you thought it was. And it won't take long to get there. Let's see. Let's do this way. Oops, wrong one.
Dragon Glory, is that a game that you play?
Yeah, it's a game I play. All right, let's see.
Hey, that's a good channel. I like that channel.
Yeah, amazing. Let's see. What's the name of that video again? Amazing. Okay, that's easy. I'm not used to this keyboard on this new computer.
Okay.
This is going to show you that this is an orb. Amazing. Yep, here we go. So we go to 17 minutes. So the trick is to go through a video. Well, here's something. Watch this. This will blow you away. So watch over in this to the left over here, to the left of the video. Over here, you're going to see 2 beings sitting here. There's the dark shadow areas sitting in the over here. You're going to see a staff, a stick move twice, and it's like one being tap at another one with its staff. Now watch this. I'll slow it down. Okay, so there we go. So let's watch this. There's one's coming. 1. Now watch the second one. 2. It's one being. Their beings are sitting there. They're the shadows. They're in the shadows. Did you see that happen twice?
No, I did not see.
Down to the left at 2, right here.
I'm looking right where you're saying.
Okay, you'll see.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, down to the left. Do you see where I'm pointing? Down in this area.
Yeah, I see where you're pointing.
Okay, you're gonna
see anything look like a being.
You're gonna see a black stick move twice. It's gonna drop once. It's gonna come back, and it's gonna drop again in this area. It happens pretty quick, but it's slowed down now. Watch. It's gonna happen now. The first one's down here to the left, far left, just to the right of the big tree over here. There's the first one. Over here in the left, it's the second one.
Yeah, I didn't see it, dude. I didn't see it. Sticks are falling in the forest all the time.
No,
I didn't see anything fall.
No, it's not falling. It's like, imagine you're in the forest and you're sitting Indian style, and you have somebody sitting Indian style across
Dude,
from you.
but I don't see anything there, really.
Well, you can't see it. You can only see the stick move to touch the other beam. It's one beam touching another beam with its stick twice.
Now, how do you surmise that without seeing it?
But you
I
can't.
don't understand.
I wish I could see what your what. I wish. Can you see my arrow where my cursor is right here?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, so see how there's a space in here, right? Right now.
I've been looking there the whole time.
Okay, there's nothing in that space, right? Now watch. There's
There's
gonna
a
be
lot in that space.
no. I mean
Right.
the light between the darkness. Okay, so there's nothing there. Just so watch. Now there's gonna be something there. At 2. Okay, so it's at 2:28. This happens at like 2:30 is when it happens. Is when it starts. See, like, oh. Okay, here we go. The first one isn't there yet. So you're looking right here where this mouse cursor is. You see how you see light, nothing but light. There's shadow here to the left, shadow here to the right, and open space light. Just keep your eyes focused on this area alone. Don't look anywhere else on the screen. You stay laser focused there, okay? Right here where I'm telling you to.
I've been doing that. Yeah. I don't see it.
Watch. You're gonna see it. There's the first one. It's going to happen again. The exact same movement, the exact same. Did you see it?
Okay, it looked like a stick moved or something.
Yeah, it didn't move just once though. It moved the same movement, the same length, the same everything.
Maybe it was like a frog jumping on a little flexible branch.
I had to get back from the left to the right again to jump again. I mean, it happens twice.
You see a stick move in the woods, but that doesn't prove there's a guy sitting there, an invisible man sitting there doing something. I don't know. I would need to see a lot more proof than what you're showing to believe this. And I'm not sure if I want to watch any more of this.
Okay.
It's kind of hard on my eyes.
Okay, so just the orb and we're done. It's 7:15 is the image, so. Oh, that was something that went past me there, but. And I moved the camera fast because you got to catch these things moving around you fast. You got to catch them with speed and slow down the video later. So it's coming up here where the bean walks through the tree and I can slow motion frame by frame it. So here comes the orb. Okay, so this is the orb flying across the screen. And yes, I'm moving the camera, but watch. Now it's going to come back.
It's very blurry.
Yeah, it's going to be blurry because they're blurring the video with their technology, Aaron. That's what. But watch, see this orb, and here's the beam. You can see the shape of the blur. You got to look at the blur. As much as it hurts you, look at the blur. What's the shape of the blur? If something's materializing into something, you're not going to see the whole thing until it's materialized. There's a beam that's right here. You can see the shape of an arm. And the blur, the shape of a blur, follow the shape of the blur. You see the shape of an arm of the beam that's walking where this orb is flying by it too at the same time.
It just looks like woods to me, dude.
You don't see the green orb?
Honestly.
You don't see the green orb?
No, I don't. You get an incredible amount of light there from the sun. It's going to create these. It's just very blurry woods scenes. I'm not sure.
Well, if something's not materialized, it's completely.
It looks like a Renoir. It looks like a Renoir painting. Maybe.
There's the orb, a green orb flying right across the screen. I can't believe that you can't see that.
Well, I think that's a lens flare from the sun.
That's the lie though, because these beams.
Lie.
It is because
it might not always be the lie.
Well, that's an auto program thing. I'm not saying that you're a liar, Aaron.
No. I'm not saying you are either. I'm just saying I don't see what you see.
that's fine. You don't have to. I'm just, but other people probably will that are watching.
Okay. Well, of course, I'm sure that some people can.
No, but what I want to the point I guess I want to make is the Voynich manuscript, right? Is this book that if you watch, there's like a 1-minute video. If you hear of all the people that never were able to crack this book, watch. I'll play it. It's like 60. The first seconds is all you hear. Listen to the people that could never crack this book, right?
Yeah, I've seen the Voynich manuscript.
What this guy says here. Watch. Listen to him. 16 seconds.
No, what about copyright? I don't want to play someone else's.
I gotcha. We won't do that then.
Yeah, I don't want to get bumped for copying somebody.
We'll get them.
But people, if you want to look at this, there it is. Go look it up.
But
manuscript. What's the guy's name?
Basically, what I got out of that, though, this is why this is important. This is the most important thing I could show you. And this is something that's not going to be blurry. It's not an image. It's the manuscript and image. It's not going to be. But this is my evidence that shows that. So if you look at this, this is the most important thing. Then you'll see why I'm.
Yeah.
Okay. So where is it? Okay, here it is.
I like dealing in very hard evidence or eyewitness accounts, something that's provable.
Well, here's something that's provable without a shadow of a doubt. You see this image in the corner here, this beam-looking thing standing in something, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The left-hand side, right? And look at the shape of the thing that it's standing in. What does it look like that's underneath it? It's got like 3 little things here.
It's like a fork.
Okay, or could it be representing thrusters?
I don't know.
Okay, look at the device. Okay, so the bean's holding a device, right? So this device that this bean is holding, that's causing your lens flare. That's the lens flare, is the device that this bean is holding. This is a radium energy transforming energy device. That's what this page is going to tell you, the language in it, because I'm going to prove to you that this is a bean standing in a device that's a propulsion system, a patent by John Quincy St. Clair. So you got the bean in the corner, but that's not it. There's 2 patents by him on the same page. You got a bean here. It looks like it's standing in like a frying pan that's upside down, correct? And it's also holding something above it. And its hand is out holding whatever it's got a hold on. Looks like a frying pan, right? Upside down, like a frying pan.
Or I don't know what it.
The shape of it. We're just concentrating on the shape and that there's a
sure, like a saucepan or something. Or
so
I don't know.
Remember those shapes, and remember the shape of this, and remember the beans that are standing in this ship-looking thing. This is a Nikola Tesla patent. So you got 2 different guys. This manuscript is supposedly dated to 1400s. Then you got a Nikola Tesla patent down at the bottom, and he was from the 1800s to 1900s. Then you got John Quincy St. Clair at the top, 2 patents, and he is an inventor of our time. So now when I'm going to prove to you that these are indeed that, what are they all 3 doing on the same page from a book from the 1400s? The only thing that could tell that is that either this book is fake and all those patents are fake.
But that's your interpretation of it.
Let's see what your interpretation is when you see the evidence. So you haven't even seen all the evidence.
I'm looking at what you're showing me.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you the patent designs now. So here is the John Quincy St. Clair patent. Look at the shape. It's just like that thing the bean's standing in that's flipped the other way. And what does it say it is? Spacecraft propulsion system utilizing a rotating octagon transpedial electrical charged panels to create electric dipole moment that generates lift on the hull. Okay, now let's go back to the image. This image is right here. You got the bean, it's the same device. And these are representing propulsion. This is like the flames of something to propel the bean that's holding a device that Nikola Tesla talks about. Not the device, but about the energy that I'm saying in this device. This device, whatever this bean is holding, is something I've never been able to find documentation of. It's the one thing I haven't been able to find. I just know what it is because of my channeling, my looking for answers, and it all adds up to me.
Okay.
Okay, so you got that, right? So now here, that's not the only one. I'm going to show you this device now. So this is another John Quincy St. Clair. There's a list of all of his patents. Okay, so then let's go to this one. Okay, so here's that other propulsion thing I just showed you. Now watch the next one. That frying pan looking thing is right here. And let's see what it's called. So look at the image. And the design of the image is the same on the left. That design looks like the pan that the bean's standing upside down in. And what's this say it is? Another propulsion system for a craft.
Well, I think you're making some connections. You know, I don't know if there's any way to prove what you're saying. You're saying this is proof. Showing something that looks similar to something in a old book doesn't really prove really anything.
It's not compelling at all. But let's look at the Nikola Tesla patent. It's not compelling at all to you. You don't see the connection. So here's where I'm
trying to keep an open mind because I like you, and but I'm just
everybody has to be skeptical. Everybody has to question everything. I do too, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's your question.
I don't know.
I'm sorry that you're frustrated. That
and
I'm sorry it's not interesting you. But this is the last.
It interests me, but I just don't.
So here,
it's not convincing me to say that. It takes a lot to convince me.
I got you. I understand. It should.
Yeah. I had a friend tell me years ago that he saw a UFO. I didn't believe him until I saw one myself. Okay. So,
but so you got this device that looks like the boat at the bottom of that page. Okay. Right. So we got two patents by John Quincy St. Clair.
okay.
Then we got a patent by Nikola Tesla, right? That and now I have a picture of nature that looks like this boat here. I'm going to show you that. You're not going to maybe see it, which is okay.
And then we're going to go back to, because I got to check the chat. I can't see anything because the screen is
okay. Yeah.
Why? And maybe I can get out of it.
You should be able to.
No, I'm not able to get out of it.
We're going to get done quick here. So, okay. So here, this is hard to tell. You got to look at the colored variations. So and the we're just looking, you're not looking for anything. You're just looking for an overall shape of a boat that by the color variances of stuff. Okay. The geometry of color variants. Look for the shape of the ship. It goes like this. It goes boom, and then it goes up like it almost makes like a Y without the left part, but actually there is a left part. But so basically the ship is all right here, and it goes like this down here, and the front of the ship is right here where this beam is that I'm going to zoom in on. Okay, so you got a beam here. You can see pareidolia. You can see eyeballs in what looks like a pareidolia face, right?
Where? I don't see it.
Right here in the dead center of the screen. It's going to be blurry. It's blurry, but you can see an eyeball here and an eyeball here. And you can even see what looks like a blurry mouth that's open. There's several other. Do you see any pareidolia on the screen at all?
Okay, right here it looks like an opossum's head right here to me. I don't know.
You're seeing a face. You're seeing some sort of face. Possible.
Look like an opossum.
Opossum of anything, okay? Because all this image in this manuscript's doing is representing something. It could be a face.
But now I could go and take a video of the woods and find some shape that remotely looks like something else. It doesn't really, it's nothing that's going to connect the two together in my mind.
That's fine.
You know.
So basically that was what I wanted to show, but
well, thanks for showing it.
Yeah, and I know.
What do you folks think out in the chat? What do you think of this stuff?
But even you said, Aaron, that your eyesight isn't very good either. So I mean,
Well,
that's,
no, when both my eyes are open, I can see, and I'm using my bifocals.
you're
I
good.
can see. Okay,
Okay,
I
okay.
just don't see.
But I see. I got you.
You're seeing. Yeah, I just.
Yeah, it's
It
hard.
doesn't- Yeah,
It's-
it just looks like random pictures of the woods to me.
So if you think about it, who told you what a lens flare was? The same people that are lying to us now, telling us that masks work. So
No,
why
the
believe
The first time I saw a lens flare was on a supposed UFO video that a friend of mine showed me. He swore up and down it was a UFO, but every time he moved the camera, it moved along with it, just like a lens flare would do. And I wasn't buying his story either.
Yeah.
And
But what I'm saying is, who defined lens flare? Who
well,
defined?
you see them. You can see them when you photograph
You're not answering the
the
question.
sun.
Who defined that term and put it out there for us to consume and start to think that this is what this is because this person that academia trained is telling me that this is what it is.
Well,
Same
but
academia.
it
that-
is. But it
saying
is.
the
It
mask-
is a lens flare. Just like I have in my glasses, you can see, little reflections of other light. It's kind of like a little lens flare, like a mini lens flare.
So what were those three lights on the tree that I was showing you that I was saying were marketable light balls? What could cause that?
I don't know. There's lights and darks. I'm an artist, so it's any picture you take in the woods, you're going to have some light images, some dark images, and
But these
some things like that.
telling that they're okay. Here's the one I was looking for. You see the hole in the tree? You can see that, right? The hole in the tree in the middle here.
There's a dark spot. Yeah,
There's a big hole in the tree.
there's a dark area. I'm not sure if it's a hole, but there's a dark area there.
Yeah.
What are you showing now?
I was just gonna. It was just already open, but yeah, this is if you trace the dark area, trace it exactly. It's the trace it, and it's a bean's head. And
No, but now, Ryan, listen. You can look at any. Nature mimics nature. A picture of anything in nature can look like other things in nature.
understood.
I've noticed this a lot. Natural things are going to look like other natural things because they're natural. I mean, there used to be a really cool, a cool thing. It was like a two panes of glass with a little bit of space in between, and they had like a colored liquid, or no, that they had different weights of colored sand, and when you turn it over, it would create like a landscape. It wasn't really a landscape, but it looked like one.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, okay.
Screen open. But yeah, so I don't. You can stop the share screen. I mean, we can just see what the chat's saying.
Yeah, let me see how I do that.
I'm trying to get back there myself. I just did something.
Yeah, I put one person can share at a time. So I think you're going to have to.
Okay, so I'm out of the share screen, I believe, Darren.
Okay. Well, sorry, folks.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get you to open up.
Here, it's multiple now, so you got to either turn it off or return it, because I can't return from where you have it, I guess.
Okay, let me see. Invite, raise hand. Let's see. I'm still new to this stuff too. I can't even get the chat opened up now. Remote control, participants, invite, new share. No. Are you there still?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know. So you need me to give you control back somehow?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I didn't know that. Let's see if I can figure it out.
Here, advanced sharing options. Let me see.
I see video. I see.
All right, there.
You got it.
Who can share? Only host.
There you go. So you should
But-
have it, right?
But
Yeah.
I still see your screen. Or do I?
Let me, see if I can stop it somehow.
Oh, there we go. Now we're back.
Okay.
I think we're back.
Okay.
Oh boy.
But yeah, I was just trying to get you to open your mind and understand. I mean, because we know that they say these masks work when we know that they don't. That's a
Mhm.
lie. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to that maybe the lens flare definition is a lie too. That's all that's all I'm coming from.
Okay. Well, there's
I
a
mean,
lot of mysteries, and we're never going to solve them all, are we?
no, none of us are ever going to have all the answers. That's for dang sure.
Yeah, I think William Tompkins has a quote in his book here. Let me see if I can find it. Selective Extraterrestrials, great book. Have you read that one yet? That's a great book.
I don't do much reading. I never been a big reader. I'm
Really?
like I'm a good reader, like reading out loud to people, but
Mhm.
I just never. I was more of a math person. I was in special education classes growing up because my grammar is terrible. My spelling is terrible. My punctuation is terrible. But like I can write a good poem. Like what it would take you, 5 minutes to write would take me 30 minutes to write, rewrite, to make it right and make sure the grammar's all okay. That's just something I've never been good at for some reason.
Yeah. I'm really grateful for things like spell check too. Spelling is
But even that gets stuff right, it seems like.
I before E except after C sounds like A is a neighboring way.
Yeah, like I don't even know where to use the right there sometimes. Or
Exceptions are neither the weird financier nor the foreigner seizes leisure at his height. So there's exceptions to the rules. There's no rules. English language is really, I feel sorry for foreign people coming here and trying to learn this language. I took a Japanese class and it was very, very interesting.
yeah. So yeah, I actually lived in Japan for 2.5 years.
Really?
I don't remember it because I was 6 months old when I moved there. Yeah, my dad was stationed over in Okinawa, Japan.
Cool.
He was the tactical navigator on the P-3 Orion submarine hunter.
Yeah, I was born in Phoenix. And we only lived there 6 months and we moved back up to Minnesota. That's right. I grew up in Minnesota.
Los Gatos, California, up by San Francisco.
Cool.
I was born, and then from there we went to Japan, and then that's where I had my first memory. Like the memory that I can remember back the furthest was when I was like 2.5 or something, and I walked out into the snow in Japan, and that's like my first memory that comes to mind.
Cool.
And supposedly we had this Japanese maid, and my mom said, "What day I learned how to walk, I was potty trained." Like, because like she was saying that the Japanese maid was a persistent person, like to make sure I would. She said, "If you can walk to the toilet."
Yeah.
So I guess they made it happen. I was potty trained at like 1 year old, however old it was when I learned how to walk.
Wow.
Which is like, and I was watching this one show. I don't remember where it was, but the person was talking about that. That's one trait that starseeds have. Is like they're potty trained at a very young age.
Okay.
That was kind of interesting when I saw that.
Yeah.
That interview. So
Interesting. Yeah. My uncle is a doctor of mathematics, Dr. Lynn Irby, very cool guy, very smart guy. Yeah, on my mom's side, most of the kids were valedictorians. My mother's side. My
Yeah.
dad's pretty smart too.
my grandfather was a 33rd degree Freemason, and
Very cool.
that you saw the episode on Red Pill with I was talking to Jeremy.
Yep.
But
And he's gonna be on my show tomorrow.
I'll be watching.
All right.
You're going live right after Red Pill.
I might not go live because I don't know if I'll have to do. This is a test. Now I'm going to be doing a live show on the 21st. That will be my first live show, and it's going to be 1 to 3 Pacific, 3 to 5 Central Time, and 4 to 6 Eastern Time. It's going to be a live call-in show, and I'm going to have a very special guest, and I'm not going to announce it yet who it is.
What day is
Remain a mystery for now, but you're gonna want to tune in on the 21st. So
the 21st of February? Okay. So that's
2/21/21, 2/21/21. Very synchronistic. So
Yeah.
join us here, folks, will you? And you're gonna have a blast.
Thanks for having me, Aaron. I'm sorry if I frustrated with you. You know, I know that some people were seeing what I was showing and understand and you know, probably, and some weren't, just like you. You know, you have your questions about everything, which is nothing wrong with that.
I have a very open mind, but I'm also very critical.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you a story about another guy I met up here a few years back, several years back now. I was selling cars up here at a local GM dealer. And one of the people there came to me and said, "Hey, Aaron, Dean Anderson is here." And he's a local guy. He's kind of famous, a UFO guy. And he claims that he saw UFOs in the 70s and he had interactions with these Nordic aliens and everything. So I talked to him. He came to my cubicle, talked to him for a while. He was there with his wife, getting something done in his car. And he invited me over to his house to show me some of his evidence, because at the time I had a show on Blog Talk Radio called Aaron's UFO Show on Blog Talk Radio. And it was a pretty popular show. And he wanted to be on it. So I went over to his house one night and to look at his evidence. He had pictures of these Nordic aliens. And something he said they gave him to signal them so they could communicate. Well, he showed me the thing that they communicated with. It was, he said it was gold, but it was a piece of brass about this big, a square, like a rectangle piece with holes, not drilled straight. It looked like a 7th grade metal shop project or something. And then his pictures were, he said, yeah, they didn't want to be photographed, so I had to hide behind a tree and take these pictures. So he shows me these pictures from the 70s. And they were obviously not drilled straight. It looked like pictures of women. Oops, my stream is open.
No, that was me. It was me. I was trying to get that, see if I was on the screen. I guess I'm not on the screen anymore. It's just fine. I don't need to be. I just was checking. I didn't know because I didn't have the video chat open.
Yeah, I wonder what happened.
It happened when we were messing with the control. It's no big deal.
Oh, did I do something wrong?
I probably did, if anything.
Oh, wait. Here's your camera. I'll turn it back on for you. You have it off. You have to hit your camera on.
Let me see if
It won't let me turn it on. So apparently you have to do that. But what I'm trying to say is these pictures were obviously taken out of a catalog, these like a Sears catalog or something. And he placed leaves on top of the picture. Then he took a picture of the girl's face with these leaves placed around it. You could see the shadows of the leaf on the picture. I mean, it was ridiculous. I did not have him on my show because, it wasn't, maybe it might have impressed somebody back in the 70s, but wow, I felt sorry for him, because he just, and I was really wanting it to be, because I really wanted to have him on my show. I mean, everyone around here knows the guy, or he's passed away now, sadly, but his evidence didn't really, so I will keep watching your videos. I'll try to see what you're seeing, but so far I'm not quite there yet. Maybe I'm not ready.
No, yeah, that's probably it. That guy that Mark Atwood that interviewed me, he wasn't ready. He even says it in our interview. If you watched our interview,
yeah.
He wasn't ready.
I did watch that. Yeah.
I mean, so that's the point you're at. I think is the same place he was until he came back and said, "Okay, I'm ready now."
Yeah.
Show me what you got. So I understand if I call into your show again, it'll just be stories. I won't show images or video.
Okay.
That's like the Merkabah ship that I showed on Red Pill.
Uh-huh.
If
Yeah.
it's something like that, I'll show it. If not, I'll just tell my
Sure.
story.
Yeah.
No,
That was pretty cool.
and
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming at.
Or if you get a Bigfoot, like you're shooting in the woods and you get a Bigfoot that's not invisible, that would be great.
Well, I have several images that are quite compelling, but
Yeah.
you know, I break some of them down on some of my videos. The next video I do is going to be a breakdown of images and try to explain things.
Okay. If you're interested, check out our Cloaked Unseen World. Great title.
Very interesting video to watch is the one that says, "So intricate, so inconceivably complex are the processes of nature."
There you go. And also, I'm also interested to pick your mind about Tesla, Nikola Tesla, because what's a funny story is when you donated to my channel, it was an odd amount, and I thought, oh, maybe he's using some service that's taking a percentage off, because I think it was $9.63, right? $9.63. I thought, maybe they're taking a percentage. I thought, what percentage would that be? And I'm thinking, wait a minute, he's into Tesla. 963. I get it. So that was very, very clever of you to do that. So very, very interesting.
Yeah. So I make odd donations: 222-369-639.
Yeah. That's cool.
936-777.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's the reason why. I mean, numbers matter. Numbers are the answer to everything.
Yep. Let me see how many people we got here now. Oh, 21 watching.
It was more than when I came on. So you gained a couple of viewers.
Probably 21,000 if they're probably suppressing, they don't like truth tellers.
Maybe 21 million.
21 million. We're probably hello out there in TV land. How you doing?
But I've had a bean knock the phone out of my hand on video. So you can't see it because it happens so fast. I mean, you can in slow motion if you learn how to see. Not like 100 people could watch the breakdown of me breaking down a bean, knocking the phone out of my hand, and maybe 30 would see it and 70 would. But there would be a percentage of people that would. And everybody could learn when they're ready to learn, and they're ready to think and know that everything that they think they know is not the truth. Just like a lens flare. Like I'm telling you, a lens flare is not what they are taught us a lens flare is. I have no doubt about it that it's a being holding or moving around us that materializes our world. That's just the way that's what the whole Voynich manuscript is. It's basically the blueprint design for the Matrix. That's what that is. That's what the image behind me, that's the blueprint design for the Matrix.
Okay.
Those faces on the walls, your pareidolia, the beings that are carrying these devices that cause and create your lens flares. It's just that's what I know. That's what I've learned from them. Beings out there in the woods.
Interesting.
And just my data I received and my breakdowns and the stuff I've learned. Do you watch that lady Maria Cal? What's her name?
I don't know, but hold on a second. I got to say hi to Liz Tura. She says, "Don't feel bad for foreigners, Aaron. Most of us have awesome grammar and also a good speller. LOL." Well, that's good. I'm glad that you're a good speller. I'm very grateful for spell check. That helps me a lot. Now I need grammar check, or Grammarly or something.
There's a lady that I want you to take a look at. She does what I do, but she does it with the sky. And she's very good at it. Very good in it. She's got like 90,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
It's let me get the name of the channel here. It's Maria Colvin Howe or something like that. Colvert Marie Howe. So Maria Colvert Marie Hill. So it's 4 names. and
And
it's
she
got a channel.
photographs like clouds and sky and stuff.
Not just no, she shows plasma energy on video pretty much, and it just she had actually she just filmed a black. It's an amazing video. It's called The Black Sun in Russia, and she shows like a square black cube like melting the ice below her, and like there's another green like portal looking light, what you would call a lens flare. No, I'm serious. This is a good video and a good example that will show that what I'm trying to explain to you about the lens flare is not what you think it is. And this video will do a good job of showing you. Because have you ever seen a square lens flare? Perfectly square cube?
I've seen lots of photographic anomalies, all different kind of shapes, diamond shapes.
I'll send you the video. I'll send you the link to the video of the black sun in Russia, where it shows like they cut the feed at like a certain time, and the feed doesn't come back because what she does is she goes to live feed cameras all around the world, like especially and well daytime too, and she watches them. And when some energy comes in, like these beams come in from other dimensions or whatever, and like come into like I don't know how to. I mean, I could explain it, but basically they come into our world and they start to materialize. But she breaks that kind of stuff down, and you'll see like this energy, like looks like spider webs of plasma energy. It's just really cool stuff that she finds off live feed cameras all around the world. She's found stuff at like the Vatican, where she shows like a portal opening up at like the building and then disappearing. I mean, it's just amazing stuff. You should go check her out.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. Is there anything else you want to leave our folks with here? Our Cloaked Unseen World, you're on YouTube. Anywhere else?
Well, I guess the beings also knocked they gave me a magic staff the same night that a UFO flew inches above my head that materialized out of the nature beside me that I never heard or saw until I got home. And then I broke down the video, and you can see this bright light of like it's just strange that like rotates above me and then it disappears. And then when I go up the cliff, there's like, in order to get over the top of the cliff to leave, there was like the staff like 7 feet long was sitting there, like it was in my way. I had to pick it up to move it to get out of there. It was obviously presented as a gift because it was nowhere at the top when I got down there 5 to 10 minutes before it. So I mean, that staff is the same shape as that black dark area that I was telling you to watch that I said was a beam touching another beam with the staff. My staff is the exact same shape as that black shadow that goes across the screen and comes back and goes back again. It's the same shape as that. That's why I know what it is. And that's why, I mean, there's just, I have reasoning behind the things that I'm saying. They're not just figments of my imagination. Right.
You obviously spent a lot of time looking at this stuff. So
reasoning behind it.
Thanks for all the interesting information, and some of the people in the chat are agreeing with you.
Well, I had some friends come over to watch.
Corbin said, my daughter can stare into the sun, and she was like, Dad, oh wow, the sun is black. Yeah, it turns black after a while because it's burning a hole in your retina. So be careful. Be careful with that.
But there's lately this Maria Calvin Hill lady has been like basically she's been following this black, the black sun is what she's calling it, and she's following it around the world from different live camera feeds. Like people are sending her messages, oh, we found it here. Then she'll do a breakdown of it.
Right.
But it shows in the one breakdown she does, the ice, it's in Russia, and the ice is like solid, and then there's like 4 spots. There's a big sun, and it looks like an iris, like a black dot in the center, like of the sun. And then the reflection of it's on the ground. The reflection turns into a black square. Then across from it is a green square portal that you would call a lens flare. And that is, you can see it looks like it's kind of projecting something down towards the black thing. And then below it is a half moon red shaped, what you would call lens flare. I'm telling you, lens flares are not what you think they are. They're not what they promise they are.
Okay. They might not be. Well, I think this live stream's been going quite a long time. If there's anybody else that wants to call in,
Call
Call it now if you want to. Otherwise, we're probably going to close this thing down.
Thanks for having me.
My good friend Corbin's in the audience there, and Liz Tura and Richard Hansen. Let's see who else.
But thanks for having me, Aaron. I appreciate it.
No problem. It was great to have you on here. And thank you so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. And
remember when you were saying you didn't want to see it anymore? You know what was happening to you there? I can tell you what was happening. One of the
cognitive dissonance.
That and one of the devices around you was sending out an energy and frequency and a vibration that irritated you and gave you that feeling like just like make it stop, you know? And it wasn't, it's hard to explain, but that's how involved this technology around us is, you know? Yeah, something within you, you know, something around you was causing that feeling. Just like something causes it when you're out and you get scared in the woods and you get that feeling of impending doom. All that is a being standing around you using a device to cause that feeling. Or using its mind to do it.
I've never felt impending doom in the woods for me.
As an example, I guess.
We used to make like forts all the time. And of course we didn't have alligators and things like that. So
if you've ever had that feeling any time in your life for any reason.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't want to revisit those memories. So
no, none of us do. No. But I'm saying that's what caused it. It was technology that was causing it.
Okay, well, thank you, Ryan, our Cloaked Unseen World. Check him out. See if you can decipher the mysteries this guy's uncovering, and message me back and see if the
manuscript stuff I was showing is quite compelling in my eyes. I mean, it's that's telling me that this is real technology, and what I'm showing you, if it is real, what is it doing on the same page? A guy from the
well, you know, I know how you feel because my great discovery isn't being, you know, seen by most people either, you know.
I got something you would like that people would like. Watch this. Can you see? But I'm not on the share screen. I can send you a link. Oh, never mind. But I have this thing where it's got Trump. It looks like he's got 2 6-shooters and he's out of like a window. It's going boom, 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 boom. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a cool, it's a cool meme. It's a cool live meme.
Thank you, Ryan. I think we're probably going to wrap this up unless I get another person coming in here.
No applications yet.
All right. Take it easy, buddy.
Yep. No problem.
Take care. Peace in.
Yep.
Okay, folks. Well, you are here for the first live stream. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, we're going to be doing a new show tomorrow. You'll get the notification, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and Jeremy Ray is going to be my special guest. He's a MUFON investigator. He's got all kinds of stories that he can tell. He's been on Red Pill a couple times. Great guy. He also was in the popular TV show Hangar One, where they explored different MUFON cases. And the following week, next Sunday after this next one, we're going to be doing another live show where you can call in and ask questions of our very special guest. And I'll let you know who that's going to be maybe tomorrow or closer to the 21st. So 2/21/21 is the mystery show. So you're not going to want to miss it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tell your friends. And until then, keep looking up, keep reaching for the stars, and peace in. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.